Welcome everyone. Today I have a build update for a 120% movement speed summoners build. Now looking behind me, I'm testing in another narrow map for level 80, which is a tier 16 map. It is okayly modified, nothing too crazy, not like temple chains or burning ground, but this is not bad. So looking behind me, this is a very speedy clear build that prioritizing on movement speed, utility, and also speed running the tier 15, tier 16 maps. And you can see most of the time I'm sitting on 72% movement speed, and when I sprint and also dash, I'm sitting on 120% movement speed together with my hasty speedy minions. The build itself has been optimized a little bit, and as you can see, I no longer have 2 skills, I only have 1 skill, and I rarely cast that. So it is pretty much a 1-button build, or 0-button build I'm just running around. And most of the time, if I needed to, I can cast my Pen Offering that doubles my team's damage, but we don't really need it. We are a little scared of the mana drain rare monster, and that is the only drawback of the build. It is super speedy, it is super mobile, so once you see the mana drain monster, you just dash away or you roll away and your minions will kill that monster within seconds. Now, in terms of the boss, let's have a look. I'm not even in my boss setup, so this is the multi-shot setup, and that was a tier 16 boss. So the build has a lot of potential to be a speedrun summoner build, and I'm not saying this has to be the best summoner build out there, but oh, there's some good items, right? So, but what I want to show you guys is the build has capacity, so let's go over some other replays, and yes, I'll go through all the new items update with you guys in the replay, because there's a bit of changes which will help you with the spirit reservation recovery. So, briefly going through the build. What is this build good at? This build is great at mobility. You have so much movement speed as a summoner, and I'm planning to try the frozen mandibles, the super speedy ends after this, but the snipers allow me to pretty much run past the monsters and the snipers will shoot through them. And this is the logic of the build. You are super fast, you clear map fast, you travel faster, and you're sacrificing a bit of spirit reservation, a bit of damage, but the damage is not bad. And you saw there at the boss fight, and there are a lot of boss fights. I'll go to another boss fight over here. So you can see, most of the time when we fight bosses or we fight other things, it is very decent. The summoners doesn't have a problem against the boss. What we have a problem is with the mobility of the character and also the speed you can clear the map. Against the boss, we're pretty stable. So, what has been changed? And yes, I have included the previous replays to show you guys the build at action in different layout. So sometimes summoners have a trouble with narrow corridors. So I purposely found maps that has really narrow corridors, which is kind of annoying. But you can see, we can dash them pretty easily. And I found a map that is the cave-based map last time. You can see this is more of like a cave, narrow corridors, and an open map like the Reservation, which is great for us. The snipers shoot across 2 screens, and I can just dash through monsters. So the build has speed clear, the build has boss slaying, the build has map farming. The build does lack a little bit of survivability, which I'll be showcasing, or I guess explain to you guys how you can work around it, what are the ways of getting tankier. Most of the time, you're really hoping you kill them fast enough that you don't really have to worry about that. And as long as you don't roll into enemies, or knock yourself down, you should be pretty fun. And even if you do, your minions will kill everything. So, what I want to do is, there are a number of questions I want to answer with you guys, and there's a lot of me and max parts I want to speak to you guys about, because I don't want to get you guys baited into a tame beast build. So yes, currently it is a tame beast companion build with my frozen mandibles, and it has the haste aura that gives us attack speed, casting speed, and also movement speed for the allies. It also has all damage shock. This particular pet took me 5 days to catch. Finding the haste aura takes 10 minutes. Finding both of them took me 5 days and 1 hour plus a day looking for this. Now, what I strongly recommend is, if you haven't seen the previous 2 videos, this is what made this build possible. This current video explains everything as to how to get cheaper boots with better mobility, and also the shoes, and also everything related to the gears. So we don't have to go over this again in this video. So please do watch this previous video. It explained everything related to what is optimized, what is needed. What we will do is, we'll look at the spirit reservation breakpoints and also additional gears and how this affects your spirit reservation. Because as you guys might have noticed, I'm sure most of you do, you're like, hey man, this is a troll build. You can't have 47% spirit reservation on a summoner because you have 700 spirit and they will eat away half of your spirit, right? So let me take this away. Look how much spirit it takes. It takes 168 spirit. Excuse me, getting a bit of sore throat. So how did I magically turn this 47% spirit reservation in only costing 168 spirit? It's with a lot of different choice of gears, and we'll go through those and also how you can min and max those. I even have a breakdown. So my current setup, I'm only having a 23% spirit reservation. Well, in the other setup without those items, you can see the spirit reservation changes accordingly. So what that really means is, with different gears, and you can look into the cheaper version of those gears, or even level 23 gems, which will give you the level 23, which will give you 11% spirit reservation. I'll go through it with you guys again because I think it's quite important. So please do watch the previous video on the boots and everything else. And if you have trouble finding currency or making currency, the latest video of making currencies is how I make over 50 to 100 divines a day. And I'm not even joking, guys. Those are everywhere. You got to learn some of those methods or try some of those out, because just mapping might not be enough to make the divines and also get some really good gears. So coming back to the build. Now I know the introduction is a little long. I'll try to make it shorter next time. I really want to share everything about this build with you guys because I think the Beast Companions have a lot of potential, as I talked about in the previous video. You don't even have to go with the haste aura. So how do you compensate for the high spirit cost? Firstly, an important discovery over here is this particular node. Previously, I wasn't aware of this, but as I look into it, there's actually a 25% spirit reservation reduction on the companions. But it is all the way to the Deadeye side. How do we get this side? There's two ways. One is that you can anoint this on your amulet, but unfortunately my amulet is corrupted. But even if you anoint this on the amulet, it is not cheap, as it's going to cost isolation. Isolation is one of the more expensive oils that is available, and this might cost you maybe more than one divine at least. I haven't checked isolation. So one way to get around isolation and also not having the anointment, but if you can anoint it, it will save you a lot of points. So it is this particular gem, this particular jewel. This is called the Mega Maniac Diamond. It can provide you with multiple passive nodes that is around the tree. So this one provided me with 3 passive nodes. One is over here, I believe. Yes, this is useless. But this one that is, where is it? The one that gives me intelligence is somewhere. Okay, we'll just read it here. So this one also gives me 10 intelligence, casting spin mana regen with mental alacrity, and finally there's easygoing. So those are really good because this actually allocates the points to easygoing. And yes guys, if you're not sure, I'll have this one. So basically you search for the key node, and once you search for the key node, this will show you the gem. Easygoing. And this one should be the jewel. Should have prepared this ahead of time, right? So any jewel. Did I search this correctly? Should be this one. Oh, there you go. So it's actually this one. So this is allocated. Notice that the price of those jewels are not that cheap. It is 2 divine or 3 divine. You just want easygoing, anything else is a bonus. And in order to see what they actually do, what you do is in the game, you click over here to the website, and on the website it will actually tell you what other stuff does. So we always have this one, right? You can see this one gives war cries, you don't need that. This one gives ice crystal life. There's a lot of things you don't really need. I was lucky to pick one that actually give me something else as a bonus, but you just need easygoing, and this will help you with the spirit reservation reduction. So it allocates a point over here. Alternatively, you can anoint this onto your amulet, and this can give you more spirit. But exactly how much more spirit? So coming back over here, what we want to see is we have the node jewel setup. So currently I'm sitting on 168 cost for the summoning beast companion. And if I don't use this jewel, so if I take this particular jewel off, which allocated easygoing, it will cost me 192. So notice that this is a 24 spirit difference over here between the two. So this jewel gave me 24 spirit additionally. Similarly, I'm currently using the belt that provide me with the 26% spirit efficiency on the minions, and this is also reducing the cost. So those two are the bigger factors, together with the timeless jewel over here that has 3 nodes with spirit reservation. And in the future videos, I'll be crafting multiples of those, and I guess showcasing to you guys how to do it again, and even selling some of those, I guess, into my stash for a fair price for those of you that wanted those ones. So I have found 2 or 3 using the previous method. So see, this has 3 Spirit Reservation, and this really pushes the cost lower and also lower into 168, which is half of this cost. We do have a previous video guide. So if you come over here, one of Spirit Gem crafting guide, it should be in one of the links. Let me have a look. Where do we go? I think it's quite important. So I think it's in here. So where do we go? So how to do your form mods over here, written guide on timeless jewels. So definitely in one of the timeless jewels. Okay, it should be this one. So how to craft the seed, the best in stock seed timeless juice. If you come over here, this is how I actually crafted my juice life, the one you just saw over here. That timeless juice itself is very good because it provides me with so much minion summons. It has 3 Spirit Reservation. You also have the 8% Spirit cost reduction. So those are the major ways of reducing your Spirit cost for your companion and also for your minions. There's also this particular gem that is socketed in the helmet. It is socketed on both of the belts. So finally, if you find yourself short on summons and you don't have to go with ultra speedy like me, but you still want to run an aura pet, which is, I guess, not traditional, right? There is this particular set of boots. So I did list these boots in my stash. So let me go back. Can we go back? So yes, should have prepared this ahead of time. I went outside to show you something, but then I realized I should come back to my head because I was actually listing my own boots and see if I can sell it. Because right now I'm not using these boots anymore, not as much. But it's actually really good boots. So this is the boots I'm talking about. So this one has 37% Spirit Reservation. But notice that this only works for undead minions. So what that means is this one actually does not work for the Beast Companions. The Beast Companion is not an undead minion, I believe. I think I'm right. So the Beast Companion is not undead minion, and this means the boots does not work on it. It works for all the other summons though, so it is still decent boots if you're short on Spirit Reservation. But here I went with the hyper movement speed boots. So these boots alone gives me about 70% movement speed because I reserved all my life under 30% coming from the passive. So there are other ways of getting better spirits, so let me show you guys over here. Now, the skill gem quality. It is very important to get your Beast Companion to 20% quality. If you can get to 23% quality, it is excellent. Well, it gives you 1 more spirit in terms of excellency. So 0%, it costs me 178 spirit. 20%, it costs me 169. 23%, it is 168. It is 1 spirit difference, but sometimes having 1 extra spirit means you can summon 1 extra minion or not. So quite good. In terms of the rest of ways of finding more spirit, actually I want to show you guys how you actually want to do the 10 beast. So notice this is a level 9 time beast. You do not want this one to be higher because the dexterity requirement is just too much for the summoners. We don't have that much dexterity, and there's nothing to be gained in higher levels with the Beast Companion. So you start with a level 9 gem, uncut skill gem, you turn that into 10 beast, and then you give this one 20% quality. So coming over here, 20% quality, it is the Gem Cutter's Prison, of course. And yes guys, if you wonder how come I have so much currency and how much I'm making, this previous video really shows you how I was making my divines and also everything else, and also investing in those. So coming back, you get the uncut gems, you get this one to 20% quality, and then you follow this particular step. You use the Greater Jewelers onto this 10 beast, you turn this into 4 sockets first. So 20% quality, 4 sockets, and you make a bunch of those. Here I'm just showing with 1. You make like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10. I did 10, and 2 of those hit 23%. So this is the probability, probably 1 in 5. You can decide to use omens, which will greatly enhance our chance of something happens, but this will cost a little more. So if I use omens and then I use Vow Alps onto this, it did not hit 23%, but it hit +1, which is quite awkward. We actually don't need the +1, we want 23%. So it takes about 5 to 6 tries if you do the order I just showed you to get 23%. This is a cheaper way of lowering the Spirit Reservation reduction to 11% reduction. I know it is not much, but I'm trying to find every way so you guys can run the Beast Companion for much cheaper, not paying 47% spirit. Now, what are the ways to finding more spirit? It is coming from this weapon. And yes guys, for those of you that want to actually see my entire item set, because I'm skipping a little bit, we talked about those in the previous video, please do watch this one, please do watch that one, that explains a lot. So in the recordings at the end of the video, I hover over all my gears, all my gems to show you guys, and also the skill changes and also that items. What I want to talk about is how to get more spirit. You do not need 3 sockets on this weapon. 2 sockets with 15 spirit flat is good enough. Over here, for the scepter, you can choose to have a 10% spirit increase scepter with a rapid Tailsman, and this means free 10% more spirit. So definitely look into this. After that, the chest piece, we have the implicit coming from the Conjurer Mantle, which is 30 spirit, and this is a 57 to 61 tier 1 row. I'm searching for the spirit a lot. And here there's a little trick shared to me by my friend Royal again. Royal is so nice to share a lot of tricks. So Omen of the Blessed. So how you can do this is sometimes it's hard to roll the bottom and the top right. Sometimes this one hits like 20, this one hits 61. And if this hits 61, this one is like 20. So notice I'm trying to maximize my spirit to like 88. The bottom is something that we can divine it. If you divine it, all the stats will change. But let's say if I got the bottom to 61, and then I only want to change the top implicit stat from 20 to 30 spirit. What you can do is you can use Omen of the Blessed, and then you activate this one, and then you divine all your item, and this one will only roll the top implicit value. And this works greatly on the actual chest piece, because this have an implicit. You could consider doing this one for the better rarity and also over here. And if this amulet was not corrupted, I can divine it to 15 spirit instead of 10. I know it is not a lot, but those things will help you progressing in having higher spirit as you go through them. Similarly, you could find yourself a cheaper Against the Darkness Jew. I got this one, I think it's 10, 8 to 12, right? I got a 10, then I divined it to 12. And you can use divine orbs on those, and this, you check the price. I think the price is worth it to try to divine it. Took me 4 divines to get to 12 spirit. And in terms of those ones, you do really want to craft this one into 8% spirit bonus if you can. And we have a video to teach you about this one. So I'll show you guys the video. So if you've been watching all those videos, there's some really good videos and some really good guides. So where is the Timeless Druid crafting? I think it is also in this one. So same as before, the Timeless Druid crafting, the best install Timeless Druid is this video, and this is a written guide for it. If you click onto the link to this particular video, and on most of those links, you can see the seed crafting. This is when you try to hit the right modifiers and also the right seed. Very important. Other than that, I think we pretty much cover everything related to spirit. You can find more spirit reservation over here. Oh, not this one. 4% more spirit, and you can find more spirit reservation. But I'm sure you guys all have those. Now, once you have the spirit and once you have the minions going, it is quite nice, guys, if you can find this particular lineage support gem and put it on your strongest minion. Whether that is your frozen Mandibles, the ants, the speedy ants, or maybe on your snipers, or maybe on your skeleton mages. You don't really want this one to be on the companion, so that is the difference. Now, I did mention in the previous video that if you're catching the companion using Tame Beast, you want to use a Tame Beast that is 23% quality. And in case you guys didn't know, you can reset your Tame Beast in the vendor. So if I put this one here, this is a Tame Beast Frozen Mandibles with 4 different modifiers, but let's say if I didn't want this, I caught the wrong one, but I want to retain the level 9 and also 23%. I come to the vendor to disenchant, and then this will give me back my Tame Beast, which is a level 9, 23% with all the 4 sockets. So this pretty much resets the gem. So just in case you guys need this. So you don't keep evolving and also getting different ones. Now, let's see. Quite a few things to go through, but I covered most of the important parts for this build, and because it's a follow-up from the previous build, make sure you watch the previous one so you don't get confused. In terms of this gem, yes, if you don't have the anointment, you come over to this particular gem. The links will be available for you guys, and this will give you the spirit reservation, just pathing to another Jew socket. So I have 4 Jew socket now. Getting to the 5th Jew socket is going to be a little too far for me at the moment, but we don't have enough levels for that. So, in terms of dealing higher damage, now I purposely have removed my... Oh, where are we? I have purposely removed my vulnerability because the majority of the time I'm running around and I'm not next to my minions. So vulnerability, I'm not really casting it as much. Even for the bosses, I can't be bothered casting it. So I've removed vulnerability, so I'm not using my second weapon swap too much, because second weapon swap is for stronger curses. More magnitude, more debuffs, but no longer needing that. And previously we changed the circuitry. It was 30% increased damage for allies in your presence. But I'm running so fast away from my skeleton warriors, they don't have my presence. I'm too far away from them. So I'd rather having more spirit over here just to have a little more summon. Now, in terms of for the build, in terms of survivability. Now, how would you improve survivability? I often have this question, and I do have to admit, after changing into a speedy build, I tend to dash into monsters more and dying 1 out of 20 maps. Before I was dying 1 out of 30 or 40 maps, because I was playing safer and slower, because I was like, summon minions, stand behind them and just play safely. But now I was like, YOLO! I just dashes into everything. So I am dying a little faster, a little more often than previously. Now, my way of being defensive is actually to kill the enemies before they kill you. So most of my items and most of my setup is designed so that we have more glass cannon-ish damage, but we have ways of becoming defensive that is available on the tree. This is not as tanky as the energy shield build, but we do a lot more damage. So Mind Over Matter over here give us pretty much uses our mana as damage, or as health. So my health is reserved, but all my mana, my energy shield, my spirit goes into over here. So I get tons of mana because I'm scaling with percentage mana. I'm also converting my energy shield into mana. And finally, we're converting my maximum mana to mana overflow. And this means sitting on 2400 mana gives me 3600 mana. Now there's a big drawback using those particular knots. So this knot will reduce mana recovery by 50%. And this one is coming from the Timeless Drill with Kagro. Notice the base, make sure you learn the Timeless Drill on the previous video. And here, this one reduces mana recovery by 50% again, even though it gives me more mana. So how do we solve the mana recovery? It is coming from here. So notice I have running multiple minions, and this gives me a lot of damage, bonus damage coming from Mastered. It has to be a different type of minion. You can't just run cheap costs with the Spectres. I tried to run the 29 Spectres, there's 2 of them in the game, it doesn't work. It has to be a different type. So you see, we have Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Mages, Skeleton Raviers, Skeleton Cleric, and all the skeletons you can find together with Beast Companion. So Master give us a lot of damage. And in order to benefit from running those minions and spending on the spirit, I'm giving all the minions a suicidal build. So this is a fun meme concept that was actually really good. What's happening? Let's have a look. Each of the minions is given minion instability. This means that when this minion dies, it's a minion harvest. So go with minion harvest first. This is a cornerstone. Keep in mind, this does increase your spirit reservation for this particular minion by 1.1, so by 10%. But we're only summoning 1 of them, so it's not a big deal. So 1 extra spirit pretty much. So Essence Harvest will give us a regeneration of mana or recoup of mana over 4 seconds for 8% of your maximum mana. And this is when 1 of these minions dies. We purposely kill them in 3 seconds. So Infernal Legion will kill them based on their maximum life, and we purposely don't have fire resistance, so they die faster. And here, minion instability means they explode even faster, and when they do die, Essence Harvest triggers. So my mana regen at the moment, before all the minions, I guess in the main weapon, is 47. And you can see the minions are dying fast, right? And once they die, notice it's 48, 48, 60, 72, 84. And this is how I survive and also become more durable with this more glass cannon Mind Over Matter build, which we do a lot of damage. Because we rank 40 snipers with 30 of those. So even with a speedy setup and casting attack speed buff, we're sitting on 84,000 damage with 30 snipers. That is over 2.5 million DPS. And this is with the boss setup. If you go in with a bumping setup, you go with multi-shot. Now, in terms of the final form of getting yourself more durable, I'm recommending looking into this potion when you have enough damage and also your build is stable. This is not a cheap potion. I bought it very early in the game for about 10 divine. Now it's over 20 divine, I believe. So do keep in mind, this won't be very cheap, but it's very good. Because we're running this particular socket. We're running Sacrificial Offering, which takes away 15% of our life when we cast a spell. So notice my life, 600. If I cast a spell, cast a ritual, it goes to 200. That's not too bad. I have life regen or whatnot. But when my life is below max, if I use the potion, it goes to full instantly, and we get free guard, up to 700 to 1000 free guard. So this potion is pretty much an easy way to get free guard that blocks all the damage. So I just have to cast my ritual, lower life, drink the potion, free 700 guard that blocks all damage for 10 seconds. And this is really good because this potion has multiple charges. So the mana potion is not as a big deal, but this health potion in the late game, it's something that gives me double survivability. And because it has so much charges, you can see if you get a 20 charge one, you can use it like 3.5 times. Really good. So that summarizes the damage, the skill reservation, the choices of defensive gears, and also everything else. The best part of this build is you can do anything. You just dash around, as long as you don't hit a wall, you go super fast. And you're like Sonic. And you only have one button now. I removed vulnerability. You can still keep vulnerability, but that means you're running one less minute. And it's just so enjoyable when you're running this speed. And love it. If you guys haven't tried it, I definitely recommend giving it a try. It might not be the best for everyone. Sometimes you want to play a slow summoner, but one button summoner is pretty good, right? So what I do now is I'll provide you guys with the replays. This video is complete as a part 2 of the previous video. So please do watch the previous video. I think I spent like 40 minutes talking about it, very in-depth with a lot of timestamps. So make sure you watch the previous video to understand how the Juice socketing work with the boots, how the breakpoint work with the belt, and also the rest of the gears. And I have this replay ready for you guys now to have a look both the additional runs over here, and you can see the additional runs, the speed clear, and yes, at the start of the run, I forgot to turn on my loot filter, which you can see I went back to turn on the loot filter. You might be wondering, how come I don't have the loot filter on? It's because I'm doing gold castaway runs. If I loot filter on, I can't see the gold. So I turn off the loot filter. And yes, after that, you can see we clear the map super fast. And it is by far the best experience I had with a summoner, because other than the Temporalis summoner, which is a little extreme, this summoner has boss damage, speed, map clear, boss kill, pretty much everything for the late game once you have the right items. So replays will be available for you guys, and yes, I will be looking into the frozen Mandibles now. I'm trying to find a good Jewford, but they're so expensive. I don't want to spend 500 divines for that. Even though I have the currency, I just don't feel worth it to get a +3 Spectres summons. So this gem, I got it for 70 divine. I'm happy to pay about 200 for the Spectres, but not more than that. So let me know what you guys think about this build and also the feature build, and make sure you subscribe, turn the notification on for the latest update. And also before we finish, I have a small shout out. So I always happen to have met one of my viewers in the Castaway runs, and he said, "Are you the real Majestic?" I told him yes, and he asked if I can give his friend Triple G a shout out. So here's a shout out for his friend Triple G, and also for our friend Longstrong Dose over here. Now Longstrong Dose actually gave me a little gift. He actually gave me 10 divines, which I was really shocked. I was like, oh, how come? He actually told me that he made so much divines learning the crafting Jew method and learning the currency method that we shared, that he was making so much divines he wanted to give it back to me, which I was really grateful. It's not just the divines, but it's the feeling of helping other players and also knowing my hard work, because I spent hours writing those guides and recording it. It actually helps other people. I'm really happy to help other people, and you can see this is our little conversation over here. He's like, please give my friend a shout out. So here's a shout out, and also a shout out for him. I want to thank him for letting me know that my video helps you, and it helps you to find more divines. And do let me know in the comments, guys, if you find the tips and also guides helpful, and if you have other tips to share with me, you can let me know in the comments or send me a direct message on this Discord. Or maybe you can bump me in the game as I go for castaway runs. Now hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters, and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Majestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day, and this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos.
A challenger! Come. Okay. Yama sees you. You are worthy.
Now, before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is gonna be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.